everyone, so it is Monday. I'm filming a work week in my life kind of video, so it is actually around 1 p.m. right now. I have already today sort of gotten a lot of work done. I'm trying out a new routine this week, which is basically an anti-morning routine essentially. So starting off the day straight away with work. I'm the whole week planning to get up around 6 a.m, maybe a little bit later in the week, just because I do have a couple of late classes on Wednesdays and Thursdays, which means getting up on Thursdays and Fridays at 6 a.m. may not be realistic, but it's basically getting up maybe 10 minutes before 6 and then getting straight to work for 6 a.m. for 2 hours before starting my day. So you'll see that I did this morning. I did 2 hours of work, and then at 8 a.m. I started my morning routine, which included a workout and then having some breakfast and just sort of chilling out and then getting back to work for 10 a.m. So by the time 12 p.m. came around, I had already finished my deep work for the day, so 4 hours of really focused work on a project, and then I went for a walk and had some lunch. And then the afternoon I have a couple of hours to spend doing either skills work or less deep work. So because I'm working on a paper this week, I'm working on both the analysis and the write-up. Because I didn't really feel like I could do much more analysis today, I felt like it would be a good opportunity to start writing up parts of the paper, so that's what I spent the afternoon doing. And then I had some admin stuff to do, so I needed to do some grading, but that still meant that by 4 p.m. I was totally finished and had a really good work day, which also included a proper workout, which is great, as well as a walk and healthy breakfast and lunch. So altogether, pretty solid. Okay, this is familiar. Like, you know when something is like coming to the surface of your mind? This is getting more familiar. You made it back! We were so worried about you. Oh, so annoying. Like, all the electricity went. Good morning everyone, it is Wednesday. So I've been really enjoying this schedule so far this week. I feel like I've gotten really good productive work done, and then it ends up being that by the time I start work back again at 10 a.m, I've almost forgotten that I even did work in the morning, which is kind of good because otherwise, you know, you'd be feeling like you're almost halfway through the workday, and like, you know, that's kind of a time where you end up sort of tired, I feel. So this morning I worked on writing up some of the paper that I'm working on, because I sent an email to my supervisors yesterday once I sort of finished up whatever analysis I was doing, just to sort of check in and make sure everything was okay. So I'm starting to write up the parts that I know probably won't change too much in the next while. So it just feels a bit more productive than doing additional analysis that I'm not really sure is worthwhile, or like not really sure where to go with it. So I think writing up just feels a bit more productive, and it's also nice to have a good bit of it done before the proper write-up starts, because I tend to just feel better. Like, I'd rather write the 15-page paper and go back and rewrite the whole thing, but knowing that there's something there is quite reassuring for me. My SD card ran out of memory, so I got to use one of my new SD cards, which was exciting. So I'd already done the intro, conclusion and related work. That was about 5 pages if you include the references. So that leaves 10 pages for the methods section and the results. So I'm planning on doing 4 pages for the methods and 6 for the results, including graphs. So this morning I got 2.5 pages of the methods section done in about 90 minutes, and then I'm planning on working on that a bit more later, unless I get an email back from my supervisors before then. So I'd like to get the methods section done today and then work on the results tomorrow. So that's the plan for this week, and Friday, I guess, as well. So yeah, now I'm gonna do my workout. So I'm trying to do a workout every day this week, whether it's big or small. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, doing strength or like resistance training, and then sort of Tuesday, Thursday, doing a bit of cardio, light enough cardio, not too long because bleh. So I'm gonna do my workout now and then get some breakfast. So back for some more desk work now. It's just 10 a.m. on the dot. I have a meeting at 1, and then I have demo hours, and then I have another meeting, and then I have drama calls from 4 to 10 p.m. Basically, it means that if I want to get out for my walk and lunch at 12, I need to do it at 12. So it means today's schedule needs to be a bit more strict, which is fine. I will be working now from 10 till 12. Depending on how the writing goes, I might end up finishing up this a little bit earlier, because like I do have another 4 hours of work later on. So I think it'd be fine to do 2 sort of 90-minute sessions this morning, and then I'll have the sort of 4 hours of meetings and demo hours later on. And tomorrow is also a bit of a longer day, so I think it all just sort of balances out. I don't end up doing 7 hours of work every day. Okay, so it is 11:30 a.m. and I have finished the next section of the paper that I'm writing now. Because I do want to keep working till 12, I'm going to just quickly do a little edit of what I've written so far. So far I have 9 pages done, which does include 2 pages of references, and the total length of the paper is going to be 15 pages, so that still leaves 6 pages that I need to do. That will be the evaluation section, so the results and sort of graphs and things like that. I have a placeholder of a graph in the method section, which I'll need to do at some point this week. This week in my life has ended up being a week in my life where I've written a paper somewhat unintentionally, so I think that will be an interesting one for you guys to see. Basically, as I'm writing up this paper, I have on my monitor here, this is where I have the paper, which is in overleaf, so it's written in latex, whatever. So I'm writing that up there, and what I have up on my other screen is my notes for this particular paper, so all of the work to date, which I would have shared some of this for you before. So like I've shared some of this before in terms of how I organize this. You can see it's sort of taken a bit of a turn in terms of organization, so I'll need to sort of reorganize all this stuff, but I was just sort of keeping things in like subsections first, and then I ended up like I have this section of all the to-dos, which is just the sort of current work for the paper. So I'm keeping this open because this is really helpful for the methods, because this is largely all about the methodology, and I keep that up there. The other thing that I keep up is my mind sweep, basically all of my master to-dos, just in case I do have any sort of things come up that just sort of come to mind. So I just have that there as a way to keep track of anything outside of PhD work so that I don't lose it and don't also let it distract me. I'll just put it into whatever category it needs to go to on my to-dos, and then I'll know it's a getting to it eventually. Are you wanting to go outside? Do you want to go on a walk? Do you? What if I take you? Are you going to let me take you? Where are we going? Oh. Are you hopping up on me? Come on. Do you not want to go? Well, what if I try and pick you up? No, you don't want to go. Oh, you're going to make me chase you. Okay, I'm going to go on a walk by myself, Lola. I'm going to go by myself. Yes. How are you? How's the work week been going? Apologies for the angle in the vlogs, but I just don't have time to set this up properly. So it is 1:30. I just had a meeting and now I've got half an hour before I start my demo hours, and basically what I do for those is I have to answer questions, which at this stage in the term it's kind of the opposite of the way it should be, because the first half is a bit easier and I feel like this half is the first half of the term is a bit harder and I feel like this half is a bit easier. So we don't usually have much questions unless there's an assignment, which there isn't at the moment. So I don't think it's going to be super busy. What I'm going to do while the demo hours are on is to work on some of the homework that I have to grade for that class. So just to try and get some of those done, because I have a deadline coming up for when those are due. And that is what I'll be doing for the next 2.5 hours approximately. She used the analogy of like throwing your voice across the room. So you're almost trying to throw your voice across the room like a tennis ball. Sometimes it is lack of awareness, yeah. But yeah, for sure. And then also just generally like breathing and resonance exercises would both contribute a lot to production. Unacceptable way to treat your loved one. The intent was there, and as they say, it's the thought that counts, and you had that thought. So it is Thursday, it's 9 a.m. I slept in a little bit later this morning because I was up until 10 last night from teaching, and then I was on the phone to my boyfriend until a little bit after 11. So yeah, I decided to sleep in a bit later. I slept in till a little bit after 7 to make sure I still got those 8 hours of sleep. And I started work around 7:30, and now I've done an hour and a half and gotten another 4 pages done. I think more like 4 done of this paper. So now I actually just have one section left to do later on. It has given me like loads of stuff that I'm like needing to do now. I find that this sort of works well, like kind of coming in towards the end and like just doing a draft, even though I think there's still a lot to do now. So I've gotten some new to-dos that I need to do for the paper. So like I as I was writing it, I was like, oh, it makes sense to evaluate this or that way. So I'll need to make sure that I do that essentially. Hopefully we'll get that done later on. Ideally before my meeting with my supervisors later, because it'd be good to have sort of a final version of what I want to do evaluation wise. I think I'm gonna do my morning stuff now, so gonna have a workout, gonna have some breakfast, gonna have a shower, and then get back to this. I think I'll try and finish up the writing, and because that sort of helps me formulate. There's the last section I'm not sure how to evaluate fully. So I think writing it might actually help. If I say that I evaluated it a certain way, it might start to make a bit more sense, and then I can actually just go and reformulate what I have been doing for the evaluation for that. So that is what I am going to do now. I'm going to do a HIIT workout, which I really am not looking forward to at all. So that's going to be nice. Exactly, like I just wrote half of a sentence there and I was like, I have no issues doing this, you know, whereas I feel like this is the part of the day where like I'd be like, ugh, you know, whereas I'm like, you know, this is fine, I can do this. Actually, the paper we're writing has a bit of counterfactuals in it, so we're doing like injury prediction and then it's like trying to explain why you were like predicted as injured based on like the nearest neighbors to you who were injured versus not injured. Exactly, that means we definitely need to do it for neither of us. So yeah, I don't think we've done this one yet, so that'd be good to well, like, I don't think we've done it formally. I think we've done it at the beginning. And chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round. Do you see what I mean with the sort of beats? Like, if you stress the beats in the wrong way, if you say chastise with the valour of my tongue, it's not the same as chastise with the valour of my tongue. So we need to just be careful with the iambic pentameter that we get those beats in the right place. But with this, it's like it needs to be like timed to the hour, and like we're not going to be having as much chats. It's like more like lecture and professional style. So like 15 minutes into the class, I was like, oh my god, I'm like through the first section of like two sections. I was like, I'm going to be finished this class so early. But then it ended up being fine. But I was like, oh, so stressed. But like I actually thought I had prepared like loads, and I was like, oh yeah, don't even know if we'll get through all this. And then I was like, oh my god,